So Claudebot is going absolutely viral right now. And when something goes viral like this, that's when people start thinking, hey, how can this make my life easier? If you're in Canada, the real win isn't having some magic tool that magically does and files your taxes. Rather, it's to have a system in place that organizes your invoices, your driver logs, and reminds you of the deadlines in front of you. So in this video, I'm giving you a three-part system that makes your tax season easier. Whether you're using an AI assistant, a note taker, or just a folder on your phone. Most stress from the tax season comes from not knowing where your receipts are, you're mixing personal and business spending, and you don't know whether you're driving for work or you're not properly tracking your log for your driving. And then, the worst comes to worst, you forget a deadline and it becomes too late. So the CRA doesn't want to get you because you're bad at math. Rather, it's because you're messy and disorganized. So here's the game. You get a system where future you has everything organized and tax time becomes boring. Part 1 is receipts that don't disappear. And this is the biggest one. Whenever you spend money on the job or a side hustle, make sure you do the following three things. You take the receipt, you take a photo of a receipt, and then you jot down a note next to it. What was it? What was it for? And then categorize it. So we're going to do an example right now. Let's say you bought work gloves. What was it? Oh, work gloves, $49.99. What was it for? You needed it for a specific job. Category, work gloves or job equipment. Okay. So what it was for is actually the most important one, because when the CRA asks you for proof, or let's say you get audited, they're going to ask you, why did you need this? Why was it a business expense? And you'll need to have an answer for that. So it's not just about keeping your receipts. You actually have to keep the purpose of the receipt as well, because the CRA is going to ask you for 6 years to keep all your receipts, but you might not remember why you purchased something 6 years ago. So make sure that you have this jotted down as to why you purchased it to begin with. For storage, we're going to keep it simple. You're just going to have a folder called Taxes 2026, and you'll have a bunch of subfolders, whether it is income, expense, vehicle, home office, everything else. And in this way, you will not need to keep paper files of your receipts, which are very easy to get lost. They're also, let's say if you had like a fire, it could also get destroyed. Whereas if you keep it electronic online on the cloud, you'll be able to never lose a receipt, and you'll always have proof, and you won't ever have to worry about being audited again. So let's do a weekly habit. You're going to do a quick sweep every 7 days, every week, to make sure that you have uploaded all your receipts into the correct folder, and in that way you will not have to worry about it at all. Part 2 is mileage that's actually defensible. So if you ever drive for business purposes, such as to client meetings, job sites, maybe you do deliveries, most people lose the most amount of money by trying to do an estimate at the end of the year. The best system in place is making sure you have an online log for every business drive that you have. Okay. So in this log, you want to have the date, the destination, the reason, and the distance. So we're going to do an example. So the date will be, let's say, January 25th. Your destination will be from the home to the client site. The reason, oh, you have a client meeting. Okay. And the distance, 26 kilometers. Okay. So CRA's guideline says the best evidence is making sure you have an accurate logbook showing the destination, reason, and distance for each business trip. So let's do a monthly habit where you record your odometer at the beginning and at the end of the month, and you take a quick photo and you total your business kilometers from your notes. That way you're not just rebuilding from memory. Part 3, deadlines that don't sneak up on you. Make sure you don't get smoked by missing a deadline or by thinking, oh, I'll deal with it later. So the most memorable deadlines for the Canadian tax purposes are the T1 income tax return is due April 30th, unless you are self-employed, in which case it's due June 15th. Any tax related to your individual income tax return is due April 30th. Okay, so if you have to pay any tax, make sure you pay it by April 30th. So instead of relying on memory, we should do weekly scheduled check-ins. So any income in this week, any receipts that I'm missing, any work driving I forgot to log, monthly check-ins as well with your total income, your total expense by category, mileage total. So most of the mistakes that happen or ruin a system is mixing personal and business spending. So making sure that, you know, if you spend personally in your business, and you might be expensing that, that is not allowed, and you should not be mixing personal and business, as that is a huge error that'll be denied, and you can have some serious consequences to that. Not saving the receipt image. So as before with part one, you're not taking photos of your receipt, you're not saving it online, and you end up losing the receipt. Then you can't deduct it as well. Trying to memorize mileage and having an estimate on that, that is also not okay. You want to have online logins of your mileage and keep it up to date. And then for the dates, waiting until March or April to start and not thinking ahead of time. So yeah, Claudebot is trending right now, but the real upgrade is making sure that you keep your tax organized so that you don't have a headache and you're not panicking when tax season hits. Make sure you have your receipts, your mileage, and the deadlines in mind, so keep it simple. If this video helped, consider subscribing. I post only Canadian tax content that's practical and straightforward, to the point. See you in the next one.